Menace Sweats, Barry D, and my buddy Tommy T, and this is our program brought to you by the Believe Network.
Yo, everybody!
Hello, and it's sponsored by Give Better. Turn your losses into charitable, tax-deductible donations with Give Better. Give Better, BETTOR.com. It's a write-off, Tommy T.
I like that, buddy. It's a write-off.
Right, so let's get right into the sweaty hit list. Aaron Rodgers. Give me your take. Aaron Rodgers.
It's you know what? It's not about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Aaron Rodgers played 4 plays with the Jets. He's done. It's history. It isn't even about Aaron Rodgers. We all saw the play from a million angles. Every single angle. We saw his foot, land on the turf. The guy leaned on him. The Achilles popped, and he's done. It's not about Aaron Rodgers. It's about the Jets. This is all about the Jets. The Jets quarterback is still Joe Namath. He's still the face of the franchise. With Aaron Rodgers basically never playing for them, Aaron Rodgers never had a chance to replace Joe Namath, and that's what's happened with the Jets. When a guy from the 60s is still the face of your franchise, you're never, ever going to be relevant, no matter how good the Jets are, and they're good. Like, they're really good. Obviously, they're a good team. They still don't have a quarterback. They got the worst guy in the league right now. The Zach Wilson is the worst. Like, he doesn't even – he's never taken a snap, done a 3-step drop, planted his back foot, stepped and throw. He's never done that once. I've never seen him hit the back foot, step, and throw. He's never done that because he can't play quarterback. Listen, with the Jets, I got 2 words. To explain this entire situation that they're going through right now. Browning Nagel. Do you know what those words mean? Do you know who that is?
I know that name, but why is that?
Well, Browning Nagel symbolizes who the Jets are because they drafted him 1 pick after Brett Favre back in 1991, right? Right. Atlanta drafted Brett Favre, and then the next pick, the Jets drafted a guy named Browning Nagel. He was from Louisville or something. Like, he played for 2 minutes for the Jets, right? And so they get Browning Nagel. His first name was Browning, like Browning. Who names their kid Browning? Who's he named after?
I've heard last name Browning, but not first name.
Browning Nagel. That's who the Jets are. They drafted Browning Nagel in 1991 or whatever. We never heard from him. Brett Favre goes on, and he has a legendary career for Green Bay. And then the Jets get Brett Favre, right? And all he did for the Jets was hit on the massage therapist. That's all he did was send text messages to the massage girl. That's all he did for the Jets. That's who the Jets are.
Brett Favre was the original Deshaun Watson. He was doing the call and the massage thing before Deshaun Watson.
He played 1 year for the Jets, and he was sending text messages to the massage girl. I'm lonely. I'm so lonely right now. I mean, come on. The toughest guy from the Mississippi Bayous. I'm lonely. What? That's the Jets. That's who the Jets are. They get Browning Nagel, and then by the time they get Brett Favre, he's only texting the massage girl. They get Aaron Rodgers. He plays 4 plays. This is about the Jets, not Aaron Rodgers. So
you're saying it's about their inability in the front office over the years to get a quarterback to build something from a good quarterback out of the draft. Nothing's happened since Joe Namath, and if people are going to blame Aaron Rodgers now, everybody's about Aaron Rodgers.
It's not even inability anymore, buddy. It's not inability. They've had Mike Tannenbaum, and they've had this guy Joel Douglas and
Chad Pennington.
They had the other GM that they got from the Seahawks. They've had every GM imaginable. It's not even about their inability anymore. It's just they're so cursed. They're so unlucky. It doesn't even matter.
So you're telling me so you like Chad Pennington, Mark Sanchez?
Pennington was good, not Sanchez. Yeah. Pennington was good. Testaverde was supposed to be good. I guess he blew his Achilles out the same way. I don't know. He was never any good. I remember about Testaverde, he threw 6 interceptions in a national championship game against Penn State. That's all I know about Testaverde. He was never any good. The Jets never had a quarterback, ever.
So I get what you're saying. Everybody's making it about Aaron Rodgers and his ruptured Achilles, but really it's just about the Jets.
It's about the Jets. It's just the Jets. Browning Nagel. If you want to think about the Jets for the last 50 years, all you have to do is think about Browning Nagel. He symbolizes what that franchise is. Here's the other thing. They're going in to play the Cowboys this week. Now, the Cowboys annihilated the Giants. Best game best opening game I've ever seen, right? I'm telling you, the Jets are going to go in there and beat them with this bum at quarterback because the Jets defense is so good and the Cowboys, we don't really know what their offense is. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets go into Texas and hold Dak to 3 field goals. I swear, they could beat the Cowboys this week. That's how good they are. But it doesn't matter.
Well, their defense is that good. And Zach Wilson, again, he's going to be one of those guys, just manage the game kind of thing.
Manage nothing. He manages nothing. He can't manage shit. He doesn't.
You don't like him, huh? You don't think he's halfway decent?
It doesn't even make any difference because even if you call like a safe game and only have him throw 5-yard passes, he'll screw up a little 3-yard flare. He's terrible. But they got like 2 excellent running backs. They got a great defense. They got that guy, Garrett Wilson. They're loaded with talent. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Cowboys this week and everyone's going to get excited again. Oh, my God, the Jets are really good. They're not going to win. They're going to win 7 or 8 games with this kid at quarterback who's like the worst. Again, he's never taken a 3-step drop, hit the back foot, stepped and throw. Never once. Show me a video where he's done that one time.
No, he hasn't. He never had to do that at BYU, and he hasn't done it yet. He's changed his attitude a bit because everybody came down on him because he never was taking responsibility for anything, but that doesn't matter now. So now he's throwing in the fire. And the thing about Rodgers, I never liked Rodgers because he's a Packer fan, a Packer quarterback, and I'm a Viking fan, but I felt a little bad for him. But then I thought, what's he expect? When you're that old, over 30 is like 60 in regular life years of old men. And, of course you're going to rupture your Achilles. I mean, how many guys over 30 that were still playing professional sports ruptured their Achilles? You can name Kobe, him. I mean, did KD, was he over 30 did he rupture his Achilles?
Yeah,
KD?
he was over 30. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but something happens.
They say that the older you get, the fluid around your tendon dries up.
There you go.
Now, and I shouldn't for professional athletes because you're so active that you're constantly working that, and also these athletes, they hydrate better. Joe DiMaggio back in the 40s or whatever, his career ended because his Achilles tendons were all flared up and he couldn't, he was having all kinds of pains in his heels, but he smoked cigarettes all day long and drank coffee all day long. So it was different. They didn't hydrate.
I mean, how was he doing that? How can you even do that, but be that good?
They all do.
I always think about stories like that. But anyway, okay, so I agree with you. It is the Jets overall. It's the Vikings overall in their scenario. But you know what? You're right. Let's not talk about Rodgers. It is the Jets.
It's the Jets.
It's all about them.
And the other thing is, in the 4 plays that Rodgers did, was out in the field, he screwed up. The first play, the right tackle, Mekhi Becton, he cut the defensive end, which means that Rodgers is supposed to get rid of the ball in 1.2 seconds, and he didn't. Rodgers ran around and he barely got away and he threw the ball out of bounds. And the play that he got hurt, the same thing. Dwayne Brown cut the lineman, which it was a quick hit play. Rodgers didn't throw the pass when he was supposed to, and he got hurt. So Rodgers didn't look good in those 4 plays.
No, you're right. No,
if Rodgers didn't get hurt, my prediction is if he didn't get hurt, he would have sucked this year. He just wasn't following the game plan.
All right, so let's move on. Let's stay in the quarterback realm here. I want to talk about week 1, the rookie quarterbacks. What stuck out, if anything stuck out, from the top 3 dudes?
Well, they all lost. They all lost, first of all, right?
Yeah,
they all lost. I picked every team against them, right? I think they all. I had Jacksonville against the Colts. Yeah. I picked against Bryce Young for Carolina. Yeah, rookie quarterbacks do terrible in the NFL. We haven't seen anyone like Dan Marino in a long time. Peyton Manning was awful. Tom Brady didn't play. Patrick Mahomes didn't play. Aaron Rodgers didn't play when they were all rookies. So, they didn't play as rookies. But usually rookie quarterbacks suck because their teams suck. Anthony Richardson, he's on the Colts. Their best player, for some reason, they're screwing around with him. They don't want to pay Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, they don't need him.
Yeah, they don't need Jonathan Taylor, but he still played well. Like Richardson played well. He looked better than I thought he would. But they lost by 10. So the young guys, they're all talented. Like, I liked C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young coming out. I didn't really like Richardson because he didn't play much at Florida, but still he looks good. Like, I like the young guys. They look good, but their teams stink, you know, and that's why they're not going to do well.
Yeah, the Panthers. The Panthers lost, right, T? The Panthers.
Yeah, they got beat. They got dominated. Yeah,
they got beat.
But this week, though, I think Indianapolis goes to Houston, so the two rookies are playing each other.
Yeah, but Stroud is questionable.
No, I thought Richardson was questionable.
No. I think it's Stroud. I think Stroud's questionable for that game. Let me look it up here. Yeah, Colts, Texans.
You're right. Stroud is questionable. Yeah,
he's questionable already. Yeah. So already that guy, and I thought
it says he's got a bruise.
Was stronger and just less injury prone.
He's got a bruised ego.
That's not good. Oh, bruised ego. Yeah, because he was such a hot shot in college. So, because I thought of all the guys that would get hurt first, I thought it was the Alabama quarterback.
Well, because he's small. Yeah, and he didn't. Yeah, he had a rough time too. So
overall, like, what did you think of those three rookies? Like, you weren't impressed at all? I wasn't impressed.
No, I'm not impressed. Well, here's the other thing, Barry. I could skip the whole year watching them play. I don't even need to watch them play. Like, I could tell you what they're gonna do. Like, it's not like I'm I'm at the sports book. I'm going, hey, let me keep my eye on this Houston game. Yeah. I want to take a look at C.J. Stroud. I don't have to watch him play. He's not going to do well.
It's all going to be pedestrian at best.
It's going to be bad. You know, it's like, I mean, Jordan Love played for the Packers after he sat 3 years, just like Aaron Rodgers sat 3 years. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he looked good, but Chicago's defense isn't what it used to be. I mean, so we'll see.
No,
I mean,
they suck. Chicago, that division is terrible. That division is so bad that the Lions are going to run away with that division.
They're going to run away with. So overall, those three guys, the top three head honcho rookie quarterbacks, nothing really stuck out to you. It's like, whatever. Okay, week one's in the books, and we'll see how it goes. And one guy may not even play next week. Okay, next one up. The Giants. The Giants look pathetic. Against the Cowboys. Like I don't know if the Cowboys are so good or the Giants are just so bad. How can you show the week 1 40 zip?
It's the Cowboys are so good. The Cowboys are good. Now the Giants were terrible too. Like it took two to tango in that game. The Giants sucked. They did suck. But the Cowboys are ridiculously good. They're deep. Like they have a couple injuries on defense, so they put some new guys in, Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell, and they were tackling guys in the backfield. Like that Wanye Thomas. They're both undrafted free agents from last year. They're on their practice squad, and they're so freaking good that they're tackling guys on the other side of the line of scrimmage. The Cowboys are really good. But, I was listening to one of the New York stations this week. I was, Michael Kay and Don LaGreco. I was listening to this guy, Don LaGreco, who's a big Giants fan, and he had a great rant on the Giants. He said, we don't know if Brian Daboll is a good coach. He said, we don't know if Joel Schoen, their GM, is a good GM. We don't know yet. He goes, we thought we had a good coach. Off of last year, he said, we thought we got our coach. He says, but now after this game, you look back at last year, and who did the Giants beat? They played the AFC South or the NFC.
Yeah, they didn't play a tough schedule.
They played Houston. They played Tennessee. They played Jacksonville. Where they held them on the 1 yard line. They won the game.
And then they played the Vikings.
They played the
NFC. No, they played the Vikings division.
But he said last year, he goes, they got killed by the Cowboys and the Eagles both games. They got killed. He said it wasn't even games. And he said, and they got killed in the playoffs, and they got killed by the Cowboys. He said, so right now, the Giants aren't in the same level as the Cowboys and Eagles. So there's a huge gap. So how good is the coach? How good is the GM? And that's a legit question, I think. Giants fans, we get carried away. We're like, fine, he's got a good coach. Well, they don't. Maybe they don't have a good coach. I'm gonna give.
Maybe he's just book smart. Maybe he's a University of Rochester, which is a really tough school to get into. It's kind of like Ivy League. Maybe he's a University of Rochester, just book smart economics guy. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what he is. He's book smart. Maybe he's not really football smart.
I'm going to give Don LaGreco credit for that one. I thought that was pretty interesting rant, and I thought it could be, it could be one of those bad omens. It could be a bad omen. He could be on the money, which you don't want him to be on the money. The Giants look like they have talent, but not in that game. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have a worse first game.
Is the pool guy out there, Luis? Is he out there? Is that the dog mad at Luis?
No, Luis is the landscaper. Yeah. The pool guy is Francisco.
Luis, right? Is Luis the landscaper?
Yeah, and Francisco's the pool guy.
Francisco, so Luis is out there. He don't like Luis, the dog. He don't like
Luis. Ain't here. I don't know. He's always barking at nothing. Mr. Meyer, you want a cookie? What are you doing? You want a cookie?
Well, next time Luis comes and we're doing a show, or Francisco, I want to talk to them about what their NFL team. I wonder what they probably like the Raiders. They probably love the Raiders. They're probably Raider fans.
Hey, listen, the Raiders won a good game, man. That was a big win for the Raiders.
No, they did. Yeah. No,
okay, that was a good game for the Raiders. I watched that game. They played well.
So you're telling me just right now, 1 week, the Giants going to make the playoffs? Yes or no?
No.
Did you talk to your dad about it?
Oh my God! I talked to him the next day. The first thing he said is, he said, "Hey, did you see that bloodbath last night?" He called it a bloodbath.
So was he really just pissed? Like, he probably was so looking forward to that.
He knew they were going to lose. He's been telling me that they're going to lose for weeks and weeks, and I've been saying, "Come on, man! This team just won a playoff game last year." Like, I said, I told my dad. I told my dad that this was a 50-50 game.
Really? That's what you told him? All right, so look.
50-50 game.
So Tommy T says the Giants suck. Dallas is for real. Let's move on to the next one. I think. What's he doing, Meyer?
He's going crazy.
Is he mad? He's mad.
He's mad, yeah.
Because these people are outside, like that aren't supposed to be there, maybe. So anyway, let's get on. This is a big thing for me. It was very interesting. I looked at the scores. I'm looking at the scores. I go, wait a minute. The big three AFC honchos all lost. I was like, wait a minute. I looked like 5 times. You got your KC, Bills, and Bengals all lost. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that I think 2 of the 3 can lose this week. I think KC can lose in Jacksonville.
Ooh.
Right? And I think that the Bengals are playing the Ravens.
Jones back.
The Bengals are playing the Ravens. They're at home. But don't think that the Ravens can't go in there and beat the Bengals. The Bengals got to play way better. Last year they started 0-2,
Yeah, I know.
I think they lost to the Steelers and they lost to the Cowboys the first 2 weeks of the season.
And then they came on.
Yeah, because they're a good team. But they didn't play good. They didn't play well. They played lousy against the Browns. The Browns played good. And so I think the Bengals are only favored by 3 points this week at home, which basically means they're not favored at all.
So you weren't surprised really at any of those losses, not even the Bills. Well, a little bit the Bills, right? Especially after Rodgers went.
Well, I was surprised at how bad Josh Allen played. I thought that last year, everyone was going to look at last year as kind of a big mistake for Josh Allen because he made so many turnovers last year, fumbles and interceptions, and he had such an inconsistent year. Yeah. But he came out and played his worst game as a pro. Yeah. That was his worst game.
Amazing. What about that one? He went to the line. He tried to run it in the line. He just stumbled, bumbled, and fumbled it just right. I mean, I was like, what do you?
Well, he's done that before. Last year in Miami, early in the season, he fumbled on the 1-inch line and gave Miami the game. He fumbled the snap and gave Miami the game. So,
and you know what? After a couple of his miscues, Stephon Diggs, he gets these. A little crazy, and they were on the sideline, and he's going to Allen. Play smart.
Yeah.
And Allen's just like,
listen, Well, listen, when Stephon Diggs, when Diggs is telling you to use your brains, then you're in trouble. Like, I'm sorry, man. There's no way that Diggs is going to want to stay there. If that team comes out and goes 3-3 or 4-4, Diggs is going to turn on you like Benedict Arnold. Like, Diggs is not. He's not to be trusted. He's not on a losing situation. He'll turn on you. He'll say, "Get me out of here. I want out of here." Yeah, trust me. He'll be more trouble than anybody.
Out of the 3 big dogs, those 3 AFC big dogs, Bills, KC, What did you think? Like the Bills. Which one did you think? None of them played good. KC didn't play good. The Bills didn't play good. Since he didn't play good, so
KC.
For you, it's not a big deal. I guess what I'm asking. I guess what I'm really asking is, it's not a big deal to you. It was one game. It doesn't really mean anything, even though it happened.
It doesn't mean anything. It's KC's going to be fine. Kadarius Toney just catches a couple passes and they win that game easy. KC's fine. They signed Chris Jones. Kelsey. Yeah, no, they're going to be good.
Back.
KC's got Joe Montana at quarterback. Like, don't worry about KC. They got Joe Montana. They got Joe Montana with an arm. Joe Montana didn't have a big arm, but he was a great quarterback. This is Joe Montana with a rocket for an arm. Like, that's what KC has. So I never count KC. KC's going to be in a Super Bowl again this year. They got the best guy.
All right. Now let's move on to the last one of the top 5 sweaty hit list. You got to talk to me to help me, actually talk me off the bridge of my Vikings on Thursday night debacle against the Eagles.
Listen, no, I'm going to be real blunt with you, buddy. I'm sorry about this, but anytime the Vikings are playing the NFC East, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, they should not be allowed on national TV. They never show up. They never play the Eagles well. They never play the Cowboys. They never play well. They're always giving games away. And, their defense is so bad. I don't even know who they got anymore on defense. I don't even try to figure out who the players are. It doesn't matter. They got nothing. They got no defense against the Eagles. The Eagles own them. Cousins played a great game. Cousins is tough. He was in the pocket getting killed and still delivering the ball. I got no problem with the way he played. And I'm critical of Cousins. That was not on him. Justin Jefferson fumbling out of the end zone, dropping passes. I mean, come on.
No, you're right, because I tell you, one mistake Cousins made that first drive in the third quarter, but it's really not his fault. The lineman got in, and he fumbled it, and it just happened to be at our own 10-yard line, but they had 2 linemen out, but you're right. He's got balls, Cousins. Like, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, they had no offensive line. They had no offensive line that game. Yeah.
He gets right in the pocket. He waits till the last minute. He gets hit. Last year he got hit more than any quarterback. He's going to get hit more this year than any quarterback.
He's not the trouble.
I think the people that screwed up there was, number one, Brian Flores, Mr. Genius, defense genius. He starts out in a 3-3-5.
Oh, he did a good job.
In the beginning, the first couple of drives, and the Eagles got smart to it. They said, we're just going to pound the run. They're not going to be able to stop it
because he doesn't have. Listen, there's only so much Brian Flores can do. You can disguise your defense. You can confuse the Eagles in the first quarter, but there's only so much he can do. Like, if they're going to line up and just push you, he don't have the guys. He don't have anybody.
They need Joseph back. They need that guy in the middle. They got that white guy in the middle.
They need 8 guys back. What do you mean Joseph? They need the other thing with all of the Vikings' great defenders over the last 30 years, they're always all spread out. They had that Jared Allen, the defensive end. They had John Randall, the defensive tackle. They had Joe. All their good players are all spread out. They never play together. They never have a good defense. Never. No. They did that a couple times under Zimmer. Right, Zimmer was a defensive guy. A couple times there when Anthony Barr and Kendricks were like at the peak of their.
They were tough. They were tough. But
they still weren't that good. That was good for them. The Vikings are never good. The Vikings.
Yeah, but the turnovers, like you're right. You can't blame Cousins. Like, Jefferson should have just not even struck the ball out. Just go out of bounds at the 1. And then that kickoff returner, the guy from the Rams that they picked up, that little guy, he's running good. He's at the 30. They're 30.
Brandon
he
Powell.
fumbles it. Yeah, he fumbles it, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And then Madison, he fumbled one, but I was like, it was like, what's going on? Like, Jefferson,
the Vikings have good coaches. They got good coaches. Their head coach is good, huh?
Who cares? You could have a good chef in a kitchen.
They don't have good players.
If the front of the house stinks, the restaurant's going to suck.
Yeah, they don't have good players, and it's funny, man. If the Vikings and the Jets ever made it to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't even watch the game because the lights would go out. Like, it wouldn't even. Remember that Super Bowl back in 2012 or whatever when the Niners played and the lights went out for an hour.
Yeah.
If the Jets and the Vikings ever made it to the Super Bowl, the lights are going to go out. They're not even going to play the game. I wouldn't even watch
missed
it.
You.
The lights would go out. They won't even play the game. I'm telling you, like it would be a blackout. Like something would happen with the electrical equipment. That's how bad these teams are. The Vikings and the Jets. They're like.
Isn't it funny too? Isn't it funny too how the Bills and the Vikings are mirrored images of each other? They both lost 4 Super Bowls, and they're both terrible. Like they're really both terrible teams. They're not improving ever. The Bills you would think would improve. They don't improve. They're regressing. The Vikings never improve. They just stay flatline and then take a dump here and there. Like those two franchises, no wonder they can't move. They're both terrible.
Well, we always knew the reason the Vikings made all those Super Bowls way back in the 70s was because they played at Metropolitan Stadium, so they would have to go up there and play in a snowstorm. And so they had an unfair advantage in the NFC Championship game. And by the time they got to the Super Bowl, they were all exposed for being slow and small. The same thing with the Bills. The Bills won those four AFC championships up there in Buffalo because it's hard to go up there and play. And then every time they went to a Super Bowl, it was in Pasadena or in Tampa, and they were always exposed as being slow and small. Like those teams are always slow and small.
And remember that story Ahmad Rashad said that the receivers knew how to run into the pitcher's mound at Stadium and then caught.
Rashad, he denied it when we interviewed him there for the NBA. He denied it. I said it to him, and he goes, "What are you talking about? I never did that." And I said, "What do you mean? You ran him up the pitcher's mound, and they would stumble in the end zone, and you would cut out for a touchdown." And he's like, "Who told you that? Who told you that?" Like I just read that blurb somewhere. He denied it when we had him. He was such a.
So you know it was true because he was nervous when he denied it when we interviewed him.
Yeah, he said, "Who told you that?" I caught him
Yeah, no, really, yeah, like it didn't make anything. He was caught red-handed, and we couldn't believe you said it. But that was, they suck. I don't know what I'm going to do. They lost 2 games now, 1-score games. Last year they were lucky and won like 11 of them. I don't have any faith now. It's like my season's already over.
They're going to lose.
Like
they're going to lose next week.
Ridiculous.
They're going to lose next
Chargers.
Week.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to get killed.
I know. It doesn't matter anymore. All right, so look, I can't talk about them anymore. That was good. That was a good sweaty hit list. Now, what I want to get to is, I guess it was the worst beat. Like, we're going to do bookie beatdowns and bets. And what I want to do is talk about the beat of the Jets Bills game. Like, obviously, Rodgers went down. The Bills were favored by like 2.5. But that play at the end must have just ripped the hearts out of all those Buffalo people. They must have choked on a chicken wing when that guy ran around the end there. Like, and then did you see that guy actually leg whipped? The Jets guy leg whipped one of the Bills.
I don't think he just got fined today. They just announced that he was fined. But I don't think that was a leg whip. I don't think so. I know that it ended up where he tripped him, but he dove at the guy. Yeah, a leg whip should be if you're on the ground and you stick your leg up. He dove at the guy and he used his whole body to block him. Like he dove. He was in the air. What the guy
was like a Jackie Chan move. It looked like it was a whip, and I just think the refs wanted to go home. But I tell you, the Bills, like, what are you doing? Like that punt. You know you're punting from near your own end zone. It's just amazing. Like, you got stopped, and you got to get a really good kickoff return, and you got to get a better kick than that. But to let that guy go like that, it just shows you their lack of gumption. It's like that must have crushed all the people that bet the Bills. I don't know. I'm sure people had the Jets because of Rodgers plus 2.5 or plus 3.
Yeah,
but
everyone had
Buffalo. There's a lot of Buffalo money. People love Buffalo. The public loves Buffalo. And that, that's a walk-off. I mean, that's a walk-off bad beat of the Bills over the Jets. And I think that was probably the worst one in the NFL that week. Where is he? Did you get him? There he is. He's all mad because are you sure that Luis isn't out there?
There's no one back there. He's just crazy. He's crazy. He's a crazy guy.
He's imagining someone's out there. So anyway, so you don't think it was a leg whip? But obviously, do you have any comment about how sad it was for all those bettors that that had the Bills minus 2.5, and they couldn't do anything their first possession, and then they let those guys do a walk-off punt return for a TD, and it's over.
Well, I think it's going to happen all year. I mean, I'm sorry for the bettors, but this is the way your season's going to go. That's why Give Better is a great option, because because you can write off some of your losses, into charitable donations. I mean, it's a crazy thing. It's taking responsible gaming to the nth degree, because every betting app and every casino has to put responsible gaming front and center, right? Be responsible. Don't bet above your head, but Give Better is really, they're actually going to, find a way to, soften the blow. If you want to.
So all those bad beat Buffalo people, they signed up with Give Better. Go to Give Better, BETTOR.com, and turn your losses into charitable, tax-deductible donations to the charity of your choice. I mean, if they signed up before that game, right? They could have written off some of that instead of just sitting there like crying in their chicken wings at the end of the game. They must have been like, I bet you there was a lot of TVs that broke in the city of Buffalo.
Now, what is your? Well, the Jets TVs broke. What is your charitable choice? Like if you're if you're going to be losing some bets, which we all do, where do you want your donations going to? What organization?
I have to go old school. I would go old school, like the Boys and Girls Clubs.
That's good. Okay, I like that. That's good.
The Boys and Girls Club. Or I would go. Yeah.
Well, that's
where I go. Senior recreation centers.
That's good. LeBron James. When LeBron James did his famous, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach. That that was a TV production, and he donated all of the proceeds of that production that day to the Boys and Girls Club. So he was making a charitable donation to your charity. Yeah. For me though, if I had to pick one, I'm going. My charity, my donations are going to go to a new charity foundation, Save the Sumos.
Who is that?
The sumo wrestlers. I want to save the sumos because they're extinct. They're so unhealthy. They're so unhealthy.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in Samoa, and they get recruited by BYU. I mean, tons of them.
No,
they get right over there. The sumo wrestlers. They're not sumo wrestlers.
Sumo wrestling. They do a lot of that style in the offensive line. When they back up, if you ever notice when the guard or the tackle is backing up, that's a sumo move. Where they back up on their heels. That's a sumo move. So like the sumos are good.
All right, so let's move on to Bookie Beatdown bets. We're gonna pick 3 games, and then we're gonna do our best bet at the end. So let's go Bookie Beatdown bets. You go first. You got to pick 3 games, over unders or totals, and we're gonna keep a record of. We're gonna forego last week. We're gonna start week 2. And we're going to have a record. We're going to keep a running tab. And then next week, we're going to have Brandy the bunny. And she's going to start picking 2. So me and you will go 3 games right now. And tell me what you think you would go with on the over-unders or totals of 3. And we have to bet the lines. Even though me and you love money lines, we still, if we got a favorite, we got to lay the points, because we won't. I don't think it will be fair for us record-wise if we just
my three are easy this week. The first one I'm taking the 49ers over the Rams in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, the 49ers are -7. They're going to kill the Rams. They're going to beat the Rams like they beat the Steelers. They're going to kill the Rams.
My second one, right?
Yeah. My second one is going to be, I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking the Colts over the Texans in Houston. I think that the Colts are a better all-around team than the Texans, and so I like the Colts. The Texans they're only favored by 1, so it's basically a pick'em game. The Texans are at home, so I'm taking that one. And then
the Texans quarterback is going to be out, possibly.
Yeah, well, he's questionable. Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, all right.
And then my pick of the week is the easiest one. I'm taking the under on the Cowboys Jets. It's 38.5. That game's going to be 10-9. That game, they're not even going to get to 28.5.
Okay, what's the total again?
It's 38.5.
Okay, all right. Okay, wow.
So listen, you take those 3 picks, and you're not going to have to make any charitable donations after the end of the week. You're not going to have. Don't worry about it.
That's funny. I like those. I mean, the 49ers looked awesome, and I do like the Colts. Like you said, that's a pick 'em. And if Stroud is not 100%, they got no chance there.
But they do have Davis Mills, though. They have an experienced backup.
Yeah,
they may be better.
His name is like a clothing store.
No, it's like a cereal box. It's like a cereal box.
No, I thought it was more like a clothing store, like David. What's it? David Mills, right? David Mills. Davis Mills. You could look good. You look good. Like it's like a C&R clothing commercial from Men's Warehouse. Hi, I'm David Mills, and you won't believe how good you can look.
That's good.
But I like your Cowboys one. You know, that's an interesting thing. A lot of people don't have the huevos to take unders. And that's a low total. But I think you're right.
That's going to be a field goal party, buddy. That's a field goal party. And here's the thing: the Jets kicker's out. Greg Zuerlein's injured, so they got 3 kickers in today. This week, trying to find a new kicker. The Cowboys have that rookie kicker, Brandon Aubrey. So it's going to be a field goal party, and the field goal kickers are going to miss some field goals. So
I think they will. Yeah, I don't think
Aubrey's going to be like 3 out of 5. The Jets guy is going to be like 2 out of 5. You watch; it's going to be 9. It's going to be like 12-9 or 10. Like I'm telling you, it's a field goal party.
What was Zuerlein's injury? Being old? He's so old now. He probably pulls everything.
I don't. Something to do with his quad or his quad.
Yeah, of course, because he's so old now. That guy, he probably pulls everything. He used to be unbelievable when he was younger, but now you just line up. You just line up when you're that old, and you start cramping up.
Yeah,
like you don't have enough potassium in you. You're too old. All right, so I got your pick. So Tommy T. All right, I like those picks. You got 49ers -7, Colts -1, Cowboys 30 under 38.5. All right, so now tell me the lines. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to take here. I'm going to take all the AFC big shots that lost last week to not go 0-2. I'm going to take the Bengals -2.5.
Yeah.
Bengals -2.5. Joe Cool over sleepy Lamar Jackson. Because I don't think they're going to go 0-2, and they're one of the top teams. They lost last week. I'm going to take that. They'll win by at least 3, if not 6, 7. I know that sounds crazy because the Ravens are good, but Cincy's going to come out. They're going to come out and play ball. KC, I know everyone loves the Jags, and they love that Caitlyn Jenner quarterback. But I'm going to take KC. Are they minus or are they plus?
KC is at Jacksonville. KC's -3.
Sure, so it's -6 really. So it's a -3. Yeah. And Mahomes is going to have his favorite guy, what's his name, Kelsey back, and Kelsey, I think he might have his head on straight, but he's been texting and trying to get in the pants of that Taylor Swift. Like, just shut up and play football. He's like, I don't know. He got her number, and now they're going back and forth, and he's trying to get with her.
He doesn't want to date. He's gonna end up being a song.
Yeah, so he better just straighten his act up and fly. He better fly straight and play ball on on Sunday. But also, Chris Jones is probably a bigger thing than anything.
Yeah,
Chris
he's
Jones
back.
is going to come in, and that's going to put pressure on the Jags quarterback. So I'm going to take KC -3. And then my last one is a real risky one, but I'm going to take the Bills. And they're minus a boatload. They're minus
8. Yeah.
And I know that's crazy, but again, I just can't see them. Are they away? Am I taking them away?
No, they're home. They're in Buffalo.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm okay with that then because I thought it was away, and I still didn't care. I know the Raiders came off a good win against a crappy Denver team. That team stinks.
They're no good.
I like the Raiders. We're Vegas guys. I like the Raiders, but I don't think they travel well. They don't travel well across the country, and they're going to lose that game. Buffalo's not going to lose that game. So I'm going with all chalk. The top AFC teams that lost last week.
What does that when you say all chalk? What does that mean, chalk?
Those are the favorites. Those guys are the favorites.
Okay, and where do they get where's the term chalk from? I don't understand chalk.
It's got to be something from Rothstein way back in the day when Rothstein would make the bets on the chalkboard. I mean, it's got to be something like that.
That you're hanging on to the old terms. That do
you know if it's that? Is it that maybe? It's got to be, right?
Why?
Chalk.
I don't know. Rothstein, Ace Rothstein, the guy who fixed the 1919
No.
World Series?
Yeah, like, maybe because they used to write on the chalkboard. I don't know. Maybe there's something to do with the chalkboard. And when they write the favorite in, that's the chalk. I don't know. I got to look that up, but I'm just assuming. But that guy was a genius. I love that guy. That guy was great. All right, so now I just need to recap the best bets. Okay. All right, so Tommy T, your best bet out of your 3 for NFL Week 2 is what?
The Cowboys and Jets under 38.5. It's going to be a field goal party, and the field goal kickers are going to miss kicks.
And my best bet of NFL Week 2, Barry D's best bet is the Bills -8 against the Raiders. The Raiders traveling all the way back east. Had a great game, home game. They win. Yeah. I'm going to take the Bills -8. And so we got our 3 picks. We got our best bets. And I feel really confident. I feel more confident about these 3 picks than I definitely felt about the Vikings in the first 2 weeks.
Oh, the Vikings. Oh, God.
Do I have to give up? No, really.
It's too late to give up now. You know that song? Who sang that song? Van Morrison. It's too late to turn back now.
Is that me?
Yeah. It's too late. It's too late to turn back now. You're down the road. You're with the Vikings. I mean, think about it. If you gave up and then in 3 years they win the Super Bowl and you're not with them, think about how bad you'll feel. It's too late.
I was at the bar. I was at a sports bar and I had my Moss jersey on, and everything I have is old Vikings. I got an old hat from the 70s, and I got my Moss jersey, and it's all beat up. It's a champion. It's all beat up. And this guy goes, "You got to get a new jersey. I'm going to buy you a Justin Jefferson jersey." I go, "I don't want a new jersey. I want this jersey. It's Moss." And he goes, "Yeah, Moss was good, but Jefferson." I go, "Look at buddy, cash money, homie, cash money."
Yeah.
Homie. He goes, "What are you talking about?"
Was that before or after Jefferson fumbled the ball over the pylon?
That was before, but I don't. I have a superstition. I don't buy new jerseys for my Vikings. I stick with the hat I got, even though it hasn't given me any luck. And the Moss jersey, I don't want to go get the brand new jersey. I just have a weird thing about it. It's like a superstition I have. My hat, my Viking hat, has the Viking on the top. It's so old, the horns stick out. Just the horns. It's so old.
They're peeling off?
Yes, just the horns. Yeah. People look at me like, this guy's crazy. And so, but I'm not going to get the new jersey. I know people buy new jerseys all the time, and I know I'm supposed to buy them, right? But I don't know. I just don't do it. Like my Lakers coat and, Orioles stuff I have. Do you have new team stuff, gear?
No, I haven't. My Dodgers jersey is 20 years old. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't
think you do you?
Yeah, I don't have new jerseys. Yeah, I can't. No. Yeah, I mean, you got to be a classic for me to have your jersey. You know what I mean? I still got my Elgin Baylor, my 22 Elgin Baylor jersey. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna go get? You were supposed to get Lonzo Ball when he played with the Lakers. I mean, come on, All right, so. All right, good show. But let's do one. You have any final sweaty thoughts you want to leave us with? Anything interesting or something came up? Or
I mean, listen, I just told you that you shouldn't give up on your Vikings because it's too late to turn back now, right? Jets fans, they should give up on the Jets. Just give up on the Jets. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. You can't. You get a Hall of Fame quarterback and he doesn't even make it out of the first quarter. You can't. It's not going to happen. And they're supposed to get Kirk Cousins later this year. If the Vikings go 0-4 and 0-5, they could trade Kirk Cousins because he's in the last year of his contract and they're not going to re-sign him. So the Jets could swoop in and take him. You get Kirk Cousins, you're not going to win. He's not a bad quarterback, but you're not going to win. The Jets should give up. You stick with your Vikings. You never know, but the Jets should give up.
So you're telling me that the Vikings may tank? If they
I don't think the Vikings are going to tank. I think they're going to end up 4-13, trying as hard as they can. I think all those games that they won last year by one score, they're going to lose this year. It's just going to go right back. They have no offensive line. They have no defensive line. How are they going to win a game? Yeah. You tell me. You can't win a game without offensive line or defensive line.
So now that you went that direction, and the Jets fans should give up, I shouldn't give up. But my final sweaty thought is then if the Vikings do go 0-4 and they get rid of Cousins, should they have given up a 5th-round pick for Trey Lance? Why not? The Vikings, why did they let the Cowboys get him? Why didn't they just take him as a 5th-round pick, put him on the bench? Because now if this happens, I got nobody. I got that guy from BYU.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they didn't like Trey Lance coming out of college. He's from Minnesota, I think he's from Minneapolis.
Yeah, what do you mean you don't like him? I mean, the 49ers aren't dumb. That front office, that's the worst thing they've ever done, but they don't do mistakes, those guys.
Well, they did a mistake with Trey Lance, either coming or going. I mean, either they did a mistake drafting him or they did a mistake trading him. No,
the mistake was giving up the boatload for him, but they usually don't make mistakes. But so I'm wondering, is it just like he needs to get it with a particular team? And the Vikings could have gave up a 5th rounder because now, so you really think so? My final what he thought is my man Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk, is going to go to the Jets probably.
Yeah, he's done. You're not going to win with him.
And you think the Jets will take him? The Jets will take him. They'll open arms.
Well, Kirk Cousins has never had a good defense. If he gets a good defense, you never know.
That's a good point. That's a good point. No, that's a good point. And they've got a good. He's got Delvin Cook. He's got the other running back. He's got that Wilson. He could work with that team.
Yeah,
that's all he's got to get. How many points he's got to score? 13. They can win.
Yeah, 13, I mean, Garrett Wilson, he'll turn Garrett Wilson into Justin Jefferson. He'll make Garrett Wilson just like Justin Jefferson. Yeah,
the Vikings got to score like 30, 32 a game to even be in the game.
Ain't going to be enough. 32 is not going to be
enough. All right, that's enough. That's enough anguish. Old Men in Sweats, Barry D, and my buddy Tommy T. Thanks for watching. Go watch, listen, subscribe on all the popular platforms. And also, we wanted to give a shout out again to our sponsor, Give Better. Take your losses and turn them into tax-deductible charitable donations with Give Better. Give Better, BETTOR.com. And what is it called, Tommy? It's a what?
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
Even if you don't know what a write-off is, you could still write off your bets.
Yeah, because even if you don't know or you question it, is that a write-off? That's not a write-off. It's a write-off. You can still do it. So it's a write-off. All right, T.
All right, buddy.
All right, good deal. I'll text you. I'll text you during the games.
Okay, man. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right, take it. All right, adios.